Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan accused Israel of sowing divisions in Syria in a bid to dynamite the revolution that ended the country's former president, Bashar al-Assad's 24-year-long rule. Speaking at Antalya Diplomacy Forum 2025 on April 11th in the southern Mediterranean resort, Erdogan said Israel is trying to dynamite the December 8th revolution by stirring up ethnic and religious affiliations and turning minorities in Syria against the government. Should ID ethnic identity consider? They that looked at it became a culture because you could tell the chicken Israel is turning into a problematic country that is threatening the stability of the region. We will not turn a blind eye to Syria being dragged into a vortex of instability by stirring up ethnic and religious affiliations in Syria, by provoking the minorities in the country against the government. Israel is trying to undermine the December 8th revolution. Look, Turkey's stance on this issue is very clear. We are one of the countries that have suffered the most and paid the price of the conflict and instability that has lasted 14 years in our neighbor Syria. We cannot allow the opportunity that was seized with the December 8th revolution to establish permanent stability not only in Syria, but in our entire region to be wasted. We will not turn a blind eye to Syria being dragged into a new vortex of instability. I would like to express here that we do not see the territorial integrity, stability, and security of our neighbor Syria, with whom we share a total of 911 kilometers of border, as separate from ourselves. Given Syria, Erdogan warned countries not to misinterpret Turkey's patience and attitude. The people of Syria are fed, but with pain, oppression, and war. No one should misunderstand or misinterpret our patience and our attitude towards resolving issues through dialogue. Our calmness should not lead some people into very wrong ambitions. Meanwhile, on the sidelines of the Antalya Diplomacy Forum, Syrian President Ahmed al-Shara met with Erdogan. The picture of which has been posted on social media by the Turkish presidency, showing the duo shaking hands. That a Syrian foreign ministry statement, while detailing about the meeting, said that the talks between the two leaders emphasized support from Ankara. The talks emphasized Turkey's support for the Syrian people for reconstruction and lifting the economic sanctions on Syria. The talks also addressed strengthening joint cooperation between the two countries in different sectors. The Turkish president also affirmed Ankara's determination to continue its efforts to lift international sanctions imposed on Syria through diplomatic channels. Erdogan also said that efforts should be increased to revitalize trade and economic cooperation with Syria, and that Turkey will continue to provide support to the country. The statement from Turkey President's office stated, Erdogan also described Turkey as a country that moves with principles, not with hidden intentions in its foreign policy. Noting that Ankara maintains close dialogue with all actors to protect Syria's territorial integrity and stability, we are a country that moves with principles, not with hidden intentions and hidden agendas in foreign policy, that we are a country that moves with principles as much as we want for our own citizens. We want peace, stability, prosperity, and security for everyone in the region, regardless of their origin and religion. We are in close dialogue with all the actors in the region, including Mr. Trump and Mr. Putin, for the protection of Syria's territorial integrity and stability in a bid to check Israeli threat. Turkey wants to set up military positions in Syria, including one inside the T4 base, a military airbase in the Homs province targeted in recent Israeli strikes, as reported by the New Arab, quoting Syrian sources close to the matter. Following the collapse of the Assad regime in December 2024, Israel has launched airstrikes, expanded its occupation of Syrian territory, and launched ground raids, sparking criticism from Ankara. Erdogan's comments came 2 days after the officials from Turkey and Israel held talks that is Biden on April 9th, aimed at easing tensions over Syria as the two regional powers push for influence in the politically fragile country. However, Turkish Foreign Minister High Confidence immediately clarified that the meeting did not mean the two sides were moving toward normalizing ties strained over Israel's Gaza invasion. Turkey's trade with Israel remains suspended, with Erdogan accusing Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of committing genocide in Gaza. Turkey and Israel are working to defuse military tensions in Syria, easing the risk of conflict between two important U.S. allies that have suffered a strain in relations since the war in Gaza, which began in 2023. The Times of Israel report, citing an Israeli official, stated that the Israeli government was very optimistic about deconfliction talks with Turkey held in Azerbaijan on April 9th. According to the report, Jerusalem is even open to Turkey, maintaining a limited military base in Syria. The talks were held in good faith, said the official, adding that there would be further discussions after the sides met in Azerbaijan. A Turkish official offers a similar message of conciliation. The official has been quoted by the Times of Israel as saying Turkey's concerns have always been the cross-border terrorist threat from Syria to Turkey. Other than that, we do not want any conflict with any country. Syria holds major strategic importance for both Israel and Turkey. For Israel, the collapse of the Assad regime in late 2020 for open space to expand its military presence in southern Syria, targeting Iranian-backed militias, including Hezbollah. Israel now controls parts of the Golan Heights and has begun tours into newly occupied Syrian zones, signaling entrenchment. Meanwhile, Turkey prioritizes counterterrorism, particularly against Kurdish militants in northern Syria, and seeks to create a secure buffer zone. President Erdogan is also restoring ties with Syria's new government, aiming to revive trade and push for refugee repatriation. With both militaries operating in Syria, Israel and Turkey have begun talks to prevent accidental clashes. These developments underscore Syria's pivotal role in Middle Eastern geopolitics, as regional powers maneuver to secure borders, influence outcomes, and shape Syria's future.